just sitting here on the computer, just kind of thinking, which I haven't felt like I've had enough time to kind of process really where my life's going. I've kind of just been living life, and oddly enough, I've really enjoyed it. Pretty much everything past 5 months, I've accomplished a lot of things. You know, I real briefly, I just got a whole bunch of stuff here. Atomic Habits, that's a great right. So some goals I had for 2025 was, one, to become a certified personal trainer. I did that. Do well in school. In my personal brand, and stay consistent. I feel like I have done all three of those very well. Third was to get my own house. That is not checked off, but we're working towards it. The fourth is make more money than I had last year, which to this point, I have made more, but I've also spent more. But that's, check that off. And then lastly is get a run club started. And that one has not been finished, but I would say that will be a very easy goal to accomplish here in 2025. This is not a company. This is a movement. Speed. Everything we do it faster. And present to you some stuff that I've tried to hold myself accountable to, which has also been very difficult. Learning to be consistent with myself, be patient, and really just understanding where I am right now in my life, and trying to visualize the idea of where I can put myself in the future and bring more visionary spirits to people to actually be able to accomplish goals. I just think that nothing really is a full-on sprint. I think there's stops where you have to understand that it's okay that you just had sprinted, but let's pull it back a little bit, regroup, get refueled, get some good sleep, and then we go back and attack. It is movement. That's movement in itself. So just understanding that I cannot do everything immediately. There has to be a progression, but it will be very slow. And that's just part of the movement that I'm in right now. And to try and build something, I understand for the most part kind of now what it takes to really put yourself out there and actually try. I definitely would say there's a lot of times that I thought I was doing just enough to get by, which is probably true, but I was unable to actually take myself that much further. Lack of better words, done well enough. But that's just part of the act. Just say one thing that I've really started to acknowledge and respect the word of Naval, serial philosopher, mega investor. He probably does it a lot more. And I'm sorry, Naval, if I kind of shorted you there. I'll take the heat for that one. I've really respected his word. What he thinks really drives someone and somewhat enables other people around him to actually try and do something. May not be exactly what you had set out for, but you're trying something a little bit different than last time, and there's more to it. You're just not fully aware really where you're at. So there's three things: high energy, high intelligence, and high integrity. For me, finding a team, I have to be very, very open, aware of my actions are a direct who is around me. So if people around me are not the highest integrity people, I'm sorry, but if I'm not moving as such, they will not be moving as such. I have to constantly check myself, make sure everything that I'm doing is almost like this Superman effect, where I have many opportunities in good and or bad situations. I'm holding myself to a higher bar of integrity that cannot be knocked. No one can say anything, and that's a very, very difficult place to be, because you don't see people like that. You very rarely really know those people, because it's a very difficult place to actually set yourself in that position. So that also comes with like being smart, like having high intelligence. Naval says like someone can be, very smart at 1, 2, or 3 things. This doesn't mean you're smart at everything else. Adopt those rules, change those rules, and shift into being someone. Back to the first is having high energy. Being someone who has high energy, of a target of constant results. I think when you start to find people that have this polarity of signs that really show people are constantly 1 step ahead, then 4 steps ahead, those people are not necessarily moving much faster, but there's something about them. Those high energy people have built up a consistency, rapport with themselves to act on a vision and become something that most dream of. Part of trying is having that energy. So someone you must acknowledge, by you trying to do something different than you have before, or a little bit different, whatever it may be, you must acknowledge that you have more energy than you had previously, and you constantly have to shift that and up it every single day. And that's why I always just say, you may not really want to do something, and it may actually not provide you any immediate results. The way that you can identify that in the end is just you show up every single day. But you show up for yourself every day. The minute you understand that you have a movement that draws people, that energy will take over warpingly. You have a much higher ability to actually create some type of change for other people, more than you actually understand the change that you've done for yourself. I think those three, having high energy, high intelligence, and high integrity, those three metrics can really shift someone. You have to start learning, abide by those three categories to really try and move yourself in a different direction. And it's very difficult, very, very difficult, very difficult. I'm 25 years old. I do not need to be surrounding by myself with people who constantly in that realm of just doing dumb shit. That's just part of my movement now. Is just understanding I'm not just, once you understand high energy, high intelligence, and high integrity, those will help you very, very much, and you will very much separate yourself in many different ways. If you can abide by those three categories, you will change, and life will become far, far greater than you really understand. Just learn that consistency of those three categories is going to take you very, very far.